Ah, shit. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our patrons. To find out more, visit patreon.com/BottleRocketGaming. Welcome back, everyone. It's another BRG podcast with me, Kirak. Yes, you've guessed it. This week, Warped is away. This is the last week, I promise, though. He's going to be coming back soon. But we are back, and I have a familiar face. You can see here, it's Component Z. Welcome, Component Z.
Hey, Karak. Thank you for having me back again.
Yeah, not a problem. I actually
feels like I was
you.
here just last week.
Yeah, I mean, hey. This is becoming a regular thing. You know, when Warp comes back, I'm going to be like, Warp, no, I think Component and I got this. He's going to be like, what? Huh? Just wanted to say, everyone, that this week was actually supposed to be Lynn's. Lynn's was going to be joining me, and we were going to be discussing certain things and talking about video games. And as many of you know, Texas had Hurricane, what was the name of the hurricane? Harvey?
Hurricane Harvey, yes.
Yeah, Hurricane Harvey hit land, and she is in the area that's affected, but where she is wasn't as bad as other areas. So things are tough for her. She's been without power for about a week now.
That's correct. Yeah, from what I've heard, she's been without power for about a week. She does have a backup generator running for like refrigerator, stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
But no power, no computer, no internet, none of the good stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, she's been keeping in touch with BRG in the group through like phone, and I was actually chatting with her either earlier today or early yesterday, and I was like, look, no, you got stuff, real life stuff going on. Let me see what I can do. And in fact, I didn't even ask her this until Component Z here goes, hey, look, if she can't step in, I'm more than willing to come. So thank you, Component. I really appreciate you coming along and taking her spot. And if you're watching this, probably not because of the situation, but I mean, Lynn's, we're all here, thinking of you. So hopefully everything goes through okay. It's just a matter of time, So I'm sure everything will iron itself out. So guys, if you don't already know, this podcast is about video games. We do talk about video games. We go through a whole bunch of news topics in video games, and then we usually center on a central topic. And this week's no different. Every once in a while, we touch on some media news as well as tech news. So we're going to stop at this point and come back with the Speedy Bits. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Here we are with the Speedy Bits. We're going to go over some news topics real quick with you guys. So first on the agenda is Blizzard vows tougher policies to punish Overwatch trolls. This is from Ars Technica. Blizzard's director Jeff Kaplan states Overwatch will start laying down harsher penalties for trolls that face player complaints. One of the quotes is, we have a new series of punishments we're going to try that escalates much more quickly. As a part of these increasing punishments, we're looking to make it so that offenders get blocked from the competitive play much sooner. It's pretty intense now that they're getting more serious about this. Another quote he has is, it really burns us out to spend so much time punishing people for being bad sports. We like making cool, fun game systems. That's why we do. That's what we do for a living. Because people seem to lack self-control, or because people like to abuse anonymity and free speech, we're put in a position of spending a tremendous amount of time and resources policing the community. We will do this as it is our responsibility, but we'd like to spend more time rewarding good players rather than having to focus on poor sportsmanship and unacceptable bad behavior so much. Pretty intense. Like, it makes sense. The game is hugely popular, and not only are they trying to put in new features in the game to make you guys like it, but now they have this whole other entity in their work that they've created, which is policing their own video game that they created because of cheaters. Unbelievable.
What I find a little more unbelievable than that is the fact that you can be banned from a game just because you decided to play it on PC.
Tell me.
Sonic Mania on PC had a DRM which made it unplayable in offline mode, according to Polygon. The Steam version of Sonic Mania had De Novo, an anti-piracy software which surprised players and pissed them off, needless to say. Sega didn't market the game with this anti-piracy software as part of the game. Others discovered that the game could not be played in the offline mode and blamed it on the anti-piracy software.
I see.
Sega addressed the issue on the Steam page, saying that they intended it to be played offline, and are investigating the report. Later, an update was released that did correct the issue, making it playable in offline mode.
I see. Okay. Sonic Mania is actually doing pretty good on the Switch, as far as I know. Yeah. So, The Walking Dead, Our World in The Walking Dead Our World in Pokemon Go style AR game is out, or coming out. It's basically an AR game. So you know how Pokemon Go, you hold the phone up and you look in the real world and then you see images superimposed? Well, it's a game that boasts The Walking Dead, so zombies, and you literally walk around with your phone and you literally shoot and kill zombies and pick up weapons that appear in this virtual or in this augmented reality world, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like Pokemon. To me, Pokemon never really had any interest. I love The Walking Dead, so when this comes out, I might just give it a spin. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of realities, we do have virtual reality coming up on this one. PlayStation Plus. This is the first month that they're offering a VR title with PlayStation Plus.
Nice.
For people who are subscribed to the PSN service. Every month they get new games, but this month marks the first time it's a VR game.
Nice.
Let's see. The game's available to PSN subscribers starting on the 5th of September. Our Infamous Second Son, Strike Vector X, Riggs Mechanized Combat League. That's the VR title. Those are going to be out on the those are going to be out on the PS4.
Yep.
Monster Jam Battlegrounds, Hustle Kings are coming out on the PS3. And then Hue and Skyforce Anniversary are on the Vita.
Vita. Pretty cool. Nice. So this is actually an ultimate story. It's an article written on Polygon. A PUBG streamer takes revenge to a whole new level. A South Korean streamer survives as his team gets slaughtered by a Chinese team. There's actually a video. If you go to the article and you click on the link, you can watch the video. And I watched it, and it's pretty funny. The Chinese team is actually comprised of two squads, and the way they identify each other is by wearing red shirts. So they know who they are or what squad they're a part of because they wear red shirts. And the Korean player or streamer player, his team got slaughtered by them, but he survived. And then he happens upon them again and decides he's going to infiltrate them. So he dons a red shirt that he finds, manages to infiltrate the team. And they show video clips of him just screwing around, staying with them. And they're not, alerted in any way. And then at one point inside of a building, he just throws a grenade right in between all six of them, and they all get blown up and died. So it's pretty hilarious. It's props for the guy for being super creative and having a lot of courage to even give it a try. So.
Well, I think it's stuff like that's actually going to bring us to our next one. That Battlegrounds is actually taking over Dota 2 as the most concurrent for most concurrent streams on Steam. Wow. In English, that one.
It's tough, yeah.
According to Polygon, after coming close twice, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has finally overtaken Dota 2 for the most concurrent users on Steam. The game's been tearing up Twitch for a few months now, setting new records on Steam for an early access title. The game lends itself to streamability and watchability and is destined to make its appearance on Xbox One later this fall, which will give more people a chance to stream it because they have integrated streaming.
Yeah, that's true.
Mixer.
It's a lot of fun. I've played it. It's a lot of fun.
I've watched it, but I haven't played it.
Okay.
It doesn't actually fall into my category of what I normally play, but it does look interesting.
Gotcha. So Killing AI is the name of the game. The name of the game is Localhost, and in this game's coming out. Actually, by the time of the recording, I don't know if it's actually out already, but this game will be available, I believe, on PC. And essentially, it is a $5 indie game where you make life and death choices about programs that have varying degrees of self-awareness. So essentially, you are tasked to erase a set of 4 hard drives, and these drives contain code of different forms of AI. As you progress through the story, it becomes harder and harder to carry out your functions simply because of the fact that you start to get to know the AIs. So you get a little bit of that kind of like empathy. But your boss in the game convinces you, he's like, on your butt about deleting and erasing them, and it's just programming, you can do it. It's an interesting premise, and I don't know how the game will do, but maybe one day this is going to be more than just a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, AI is headed that way, so crazy.
Wouldn't be the first AI to be killed. Look at Facebook for that.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of killing, Nintendo's going to be doing a little killing of their own. They're actually killing Miiverse in Japan. According to Engadget, the Wii U will go down in history as one of Nintendo's least successful consoles. It did have one good thing, though, and that was Miiverse.
Yeah.
Miiverse was a system-wide message board that allowed players to post drawings, messages, and screenshots to each other. Did work across multiple platforms, the Wii U, 3DS. But as of November the 8th, the service will be shutting down for good in Japan, and we do not know how much longer it has in the North America.
Interesting, how they're getting rid of something that's old, but Polygon also reports about a game coming out for the Switch, something old that's coming back. The game's called Save Me, Mr. Tako, Tako, and it is an original Game Boy and Game Boy Color type game that's being re-brought back to the Switch, which is pretty cool. Publisher Nicalis is bringing Save Me, Mr. Tako to the Switch later this year. Essentially, it's about an octopus, a hat-wearing octopus, in a war between humans and octopus, or octopi, right? Octopi. And this particular octopus is a pacifist octopus and rescues a woman from drowning, and then the story carries on from there. The developer's attempting to stay true to the Nintendo late 80s handheld look, though. So he's going to go with a color palette, I think, of only 4 colors on screen. So it'll kind of give that oldish Game Boy look, which is really cool in my opinion. I can't wait to see what this thing looks like. And I don't know, I've never heard about the game, but I'm very interested in it just because of the way back flash. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Considering I grew up with Game Boy Color, yeah. I can kind of, I'm picking up what you're putting down on that one.
Yeah.
Another thing coming to the Switch is Super Meat Boy Forever. Engadget brought this one to us. Super Meat Boy Forever, which is going to be the sequel to Super Meat Boy, is supposed to be heading to the Switch in 2018. Has all of the same rapid-fire leaping, sliding, and dodging of the original game, but with some new moves, daily challenges, and a ranking system.
Cool.
Nugget is captured by the evil Dr. Fetus, and players have to platform their way around levels stacked with spinning blades, spikes, poisons, and other deadly traps.
You know, it's interesting because that's not all for the Switch. No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again is headed for it. No More Heroes is returning for its 10th anniversary with No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again on the Switch. It has been confirmed and is a title exclusive, which is pretty cool.
And staying with the Switch here,
Yeah.
Kentucky Route Zero is coming to the Switch in 2018. This version will be the TV edition, which will come with all 5 acts. For those who don't know, Kentucky Route Zero was a Kickstarter project in 2012, with the first of the 5 acts released in 2013. The Switch version will come with all acts, including the 5th, which has yet to be released.
I'm going to switch gears. We're going to move on to a little bit of tech news now. So Sonos may unveil a voice-controlled smart speaker on October 4th. This comes from Engadget. Engadget basically showed a picture of the invitation. The reason they know this is because Sonos sent out invitations to a event in New York on October 4th. The invitation has very little to reveal about what they're going to be talking about, but the invitation itself is a black background with a red mouth, big lips, almost like that Rolling Stones hot, but not quite. So speculation is that they are going to be introducing a speaker in their speaker line or line of speakers that has voice control. Again, it is speculation. There's nothing set in stone, but it's actually pretty awesome if you ask me. And it's moving in the right direction. All the other speaker manufacturers are basically using or have some sort of a voice-controlled speaker nowadays. So,
another thing that Engadget had brought to us, Logitech's latest no-lag gear includes a mechanical keyboard. They just released them. Just recently, Logitech released their low lag or no lag. It's 1 millisecond, so there's actually a lag, but it's low enough that you won't notice it.
Yeah.
Tech called Lightspeed. They've got a gaming mouse out, and the keyboard coming in right behind it. The new G613 has the mechanical keys that most gamers look for, as well as that 1 millisecond latency. And it's expected to be about $150, which realistically, for a good wireless gaming keyboard, not outrageous.
Not that bad. Yeah, that's actually not that bad at all. In media news, Engadget reports about YouTube's desktop redesign being live. So this is actually something that's been rolling out gradually from YouTube. Since May, we've seen it come in little bits and increments. Now the full design change has been released on the desktop and mobile versions of their apps. So I've already seen it. If you head to any YouTube website, you'll notice that they're essentially the whole web page that you go to is a lot cleaner, a lot more streamlined. I actually like it. It's what's his name? Ziploc Bob was saying it's easy on the eyes, and I agree with him 100%. So it's pretty cool. Every so often they'll make changes. Sometimes it's like, oh, why'd you do that? This is one of those ones where I think it looks pretty slick. So I'm happy with it.
And with that, I'm also liking their new logo.
Oh, yeah. Their new logo as well. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Thank you. And that'll wrap it up for the Speedy Bits, guys.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back to another week of game releases with me, Kirok, here on Bottle Rocket Gaming. There's some good ones in here, so let's get to it. And your first game is on September 5th. It is called Songbringer, out for PC, PS4, Xbox One. It is a sci-fi action RPG that has procedurally generated lands. So the overworld, the secrets, the dungeons are all procedurally generated by using a 6-letter word seed, which is pretty cool. You play the role of a character that hops around from planet to planet, and you're on a ship called the Songbringer. Basically, the story takes you to a place where you discover an ancient sword that unlocks an evil, and then you have to kind of figure out how to beat it all up. And your next game, also on September 5th, is Knack 2 for PS4. This is an action-adventure platformer. This game is the sequel to the very first that came out originally when the PS4 was... And your next game is also on September 5th. It is like... What? Huh? Huh? Oh. Peanut butter. And your next game, also on September 5th, is Lego Worlds. This is coming out for the Switch, however. It is a sandbox game. So the game's been out since March for all the other consoles, but now it's where it matters. It's basically like a Minecraft, but you build in Lego and you can build vehicles and world and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, man. If you like the Lego stuff, the Lego type games, check it out. And your next game is on September 6th, and this is a big one, guys. Destiny 2 for PS4 and Xbox One. It is an MMO FPS, so massive multiplayer online first-person shooter. It's a popular one that a ton of people are waiting for. Personally, like Warped would say, I never had a horse in this race, but the original was hugely popular. The graphics in this one are incredibly detailed, and there's going to be tons of content to keep people going for hours and hours and hours. Let's just hope it sticks to that 10-year goal the first one tried to accomplish. And your last game on September 8th is Monster Hunter Stories. This is coming out for the 3DS. Hey, look at that. We got another one. It's a role-playing game. It's a spin-off from the hugely popular Monster Hunter series, and this time around there's completely new gameplay. You play as a rider who steals eggs and trains and hatches the monsters, and then those monsters, you can name them, you can ride them, you can take them out on battles with you, which is pretty cool. This looks like the kind of game that's an on-the-go, fun game for kids, the kind I used to get hooked on when the original Game Boy was out. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. We got another one in the books. I had a lot of fun making this one. Thanks again, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. You hungry? I'm hungry. Okay, everyone. So we're back with the main topic. The main topic for this week is basically back to school. Esports special. So this episode is the back to school esports special. It was interesting because I had a few ideas of maybe what topics to use, and then Component Z suggested one, and it's specifically about esports. So I figured, yeah, let's go with it. I'm gonna go through like 3 different articles in point form, just kind of cover them off and go through it, and we'll get a chance to talk back and forth about it. But quickly, I just want to mention, like, esports has been around for a while, and it's now kind of taken root in schools in North America, right? And it's pretty much here to stay. So the following articles kind of go through U.S. joining the esports movement more and more. Esports has been around out in the Eastern countries for a lot longer now, right? Been around for some time. In fact, if you look it up on Wikipedia, Wikipedia goes through and says that esports, or first documented esports encounters, were early 70s up to late 80s, which kind of makes sense because games started coming out around that time. And I guess esports is basically something that's been around since games have been around themselves. From the first,
Well,
like,
to throw something out there.
yeah.
I don't know if it was counted as esports back in the day, but Twitch was actually running Starcade. They were streaming Starcade episodes, which was a TV show.
Okay.
Where it was competitive, main arcade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The big stand-ups.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Pac-Man and whatnot.
So, like, it's interesting too, because like ESPN is now more dedicated into actually broadcasting esport events and things like that. So
they're actually talking, from what I understand, they were talking about adding a dedicated esports channel to ESPN.
I could easily see that happening. I mean,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I did mention before we started streaming, I'm not a sports guy. Basically, not a sports guy. Love video games, and when I see the two of them kind of come together, I'm like, do they really need to be together? But I get it. I understand. It'd be like, I'm better at Pong than you are. Oh yeah, bring it on. So I can get it. I can grasp the concept and see why people are, latching on to esports. And what we're going to be kind of covering in these articles that we're going to go through is how the schools are openly bringing in esports and creating esports programs for their their either universities or colleges. So the first one,
So
yeah,
we're moving towards video game high school, people.
this is awesome. Like,
That was a great web series, and it's coming to fruition.
so the first article is actually okay. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Boise State.
Yeah, Boise State.
Boise State. Okay, so it's Boise State University. They add varsity esports program, and this article is actually from ESPN. So they've joined a growing list of major universities that have approved a varsity esports program. So in essence, they're like, hey guys, maybe we should put together some sort of esports program in our school and go from there. And so they're going to be launching with what is it? To host teams and competitions with 5 games specifically. And I'll list them out. Those 5 games that they've talked about are basically League of Legends, Overwatch, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, and now Rocket League, which is pretty cool. So it's interesting because it's like schools are going, well, maybe we should have a soccer team, or maybe we should have a football team. And this was like years ago. And now it's like, well, maybe we should have a video game team or group or.
This raises a good question.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, didn't your parents ever say to you, you shouldn't be playing video games all the time. It's not going to help you in college, get into college.
Yes.
Now you can get a scholarship for playing video games.
It's insane. I mean, we've all heard of it: scholarship for playing baseball, scholarship for playing football, and so on. Right? You're 100% right, Component Z. Like, now students will be getting out of high school and going, no, I got a scholarship paid for me because I play
League of Legends.
Yeah. Rocket League. I'm good at Rocket League, so they're going to pay for my schooling. Like, that's incredible. BSU, or Boise State University, is plans to be also part of the National Association of Collegiate Esports, or also known as NACE, NACE. NACE is the governing body that oversees fair play and operations through collegiate programs. So they are the guys that kind of oversee the whole thing in the organization. It's quite incredible, actually. At this point, it's one of the 4th schools to sponsor this that also has a division. So BSU has a Division 1 double NCAA.
NCAA.
Football team, and it's alongside with a few others that are the same, and that is University of Utah, Georgia State University, and Miami University. So basically, they have already teams that are actual sports teams, proper high-end professional sports teams, right? and now they're going in and saying, well, we did that, let's do this, which is really awesome. More and more universities and colleges are embracing esports and as a viable sporting spectacle. And right now there's more than 50 colleges in the US that have teams. So I was actually impressed when I read that number.
Yeah, it's a growing trend, but it's good to see Division 1 schools.
Yeah.
Going, okay, we need to get, we need to diversify our sports programs.
But no,
I don't ever think I can call esport a sport, but
that's exactly what I'm getting at. And so if you have to explain to somebody who doesn't know what esports is, what it is, their reaction is easily going to be like, it's a video game,
Yeah, it's like, I understand. I'm a gamer. I understand the competitiveness. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, $1 million purses to play video games, but I understand the competitiveness.
Well, I'm going to keep going down, and then I'm going to start throwing in some of the numbers involved. Not a whole lot, but they're quite impressive. The second article is let me see here.
I understand.
Yeah, time standard, and it's about Rocket League joining collegiate esports, right? So earlier on, we had mentioned that Boise State is basically creating a program with competitive gaming for gamers with 5 games, and one of those games listed was Rocket League. And Rocket League apparently is recently brought into this uh, esports arena, for lack of a better word. So Rocket League will be joining the growing world of collegiate sports for the first time this fall, with scholarships of up to. Oh, that's where the beep came from.
Somebody's phone's still on.
That was mine. Yeah, so some scholarships of up to $50,000 on the line. Like, that's insane when I think about it, and that's U.S. dollars too.
Yeah, that's
So, and that's just one game too, right? So that's Rocket League with up to $50,000 on the line. Not to mention all the other ones I mentioned earlier. TESPA is a collegiate sports organization that provides scholarships for players, as well as a host of broadcast live competitions and things like that. So they host broadcasts and live competitions. So they are now part of, I believe, TESPA, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
I believe Rocket League has joined TESPA.
Yeah.
I think TESPA is actually backed by Blizzard.
Yeah, because I think it actually has a few of their games in it too.
Yeah, but I think it's I
Like
think
actually
TESPA was actually sponsored by
by
Blizzard.
Blizzard. Okay.
But
So yeah, I mean, in fact, it the next part of the article specifically states that Rocket League will be joining the ranks of games such as Overwatch and World of Warcraft,
wow.
both Blizzard games. So TESPA competitive program manager. Oh yeah, so the competitive program manager, his name is Logan Fischel, announced year-round leagues for the following games with more than $1 million in scholarships, which is actually insane. So it's similar. I mean, in fact, if not, it's identical to the previous list. We're looking at Rocket League, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, which wasn't mentioned before, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone. Let's see, would I be able to.
Which is weird because I always heard it as Hearthstone.
Hearthstone? I read it as Hearthstone. Hearthstone.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying
No.
I could be wrong. I always thought it was Hearthstone.
I'm trying to decide on which of those games that I could compete in. None.
I see only one that I would even remotely stand a chance in, and that's like at that would be at sub intramural levels.
Which one?
That would be Rocket League.
Rocket League? Okay. I actually have the game and I played it a few times. Not my favorite, but
I love Rocket League.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sweet. So yeah,
it does get me a little salty though.
So it's quite interesting. Like the fact that nowadays you can actually have the ability of organizations like TESPA potentially recruiting. I mean, that's like what they do with sports, right?
Yeah.
And literally take kids that are good game players, not maybe necessarily good in other academic levels in their school or other subjects and programs that they are enrolled in, and potentially pay them for scholarship so that they can participate in this and even be able to participate in tournaments and possibly even win payouts.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure is what they do for football, baseball, and soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Like they do that exact thing. Like I don't think I ever would have imagined ever that I would see this come to fruition.
Well, as much as esports is the bane of my existence as a gamer, it does have its place. I mean, you've got a lot of major competitions. Now you can be practicing for like the Halo tournament. Now you can be practicing for the big Halo tournament and be going to college, and get a degree while you're practicing, while you're trying to competitively play, you know, your sports.
So I should have done maybe a tiny bit more digging prior to recording here, but I don't know if you know, but like I mean, esports is pretty big out in Eastern countries like was it South Korea, right? Like I mean, it's huge there.
Yeah.
Are they at this level where it's in schools, or is it independent, completely separate from schools? Like,
I believe it's independent. I believe, you know, the the collegiate culture of this is a more,
North American thing, right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's more of a North American thing more so than a, worldwide adoption.
right.
But I have no doubts it might go worldwide.
Which is actually
Somebody,
pretty awesome. So
yeah.
the last article that we're going to kind of quickly cover over is specifically for Georgia State University. This one talks about how Georgia State University becomes the 34th member to enter or accepted into NACE. What was NACE? National Association of Collegiate Esports. So it will make eligible to compete in national leagues in early this September. So essentially, well, now they're going to be able to compete into or go into trials. Not what do they call it? I think there was trials or preliminaries. I'm just pulling it up real quick.
Now, here's a question for you.
Yeah,
Do you think we're ever going to see
I don't see it.
Olympic esport?
Ooh, that's a great question. It would. I think the only way it would ever make it to that level is if this continues to grow and gets to be a business where it's a lot of money. Meaning, there's a lot to stand like for companies to make, for
Yeah.
organizations to make. If it gets to the point where it's a big money making business and grows year over year and gets bigger and bigger exponentially, probably in 10, 15 years we might see or hear inklings of it, I would say. Like, I don't think it's something that would happen like that
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at how long it took for, like, say, skateboarding,
to
to
make it into the
become,
existing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it would happen overnight. I just wondering if what your thoughts were. Do you think it could become
I think I think
an
it's
Olympic sport?
yeah, I think it's okay. So I think it's something that isn't impossible, but I think it's something that's way off in the future, and it would have to be something where it would have to be a big money making machine where it's like, well, everyone says no, no, it's a sport, but really on the side they're all getting their pockets padded. Well,
Fair enough.
maybe not in a negative or illegal way, but in a way that they could legitimately make money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, so one of the things that they say is, or specifically from Georgia State University, is um, it gives them the eligibility to compete in national leagues, and then it also enables students to the ability to learn about broadcasting, production, marketing of esports and tournaments, as well as coaching, student management, and even game development. So Georgia is kind of looking at it as not just it's a sporting thing, and that they can I guess when they have a sports team that does well and makes wins tournaments and things like that, not only do they get good ratings, but I'm sure they make some cash as well. Like, they win, right? But they're also pointing out the fact that, and I'll read a quote here. This is from David Cheshire, director of Georgia State Creative Media. He says the skills developed by esports interested students are the very skills most needed for success in the 21st century economy, including collaborative soft skills and computer coding. We see this initiative as building essential links to emerging creative careers in animation, 3D and immersive world creation, and other media industries. So basically, they're saying that it's not just for the sports aspect of it, but it brings a whole bunch of new skills into the mix that players that can participate in this can develop and learn and use later on in life when they're working, when they're playing games as a tester somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. I put that in there.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like when I hear this, when I read this and I heard this, my first gut reaction was, am I reading something that's real, or is this from The Onion?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
it really does seem a little outside of the norm, but
yeah.
the norm is changing daily. So
It's like, so all of a sudden they're totally fine with us, with people shooting people online. Violence is not a thing anymore in video games, right?
of course not. Of course not.
Before it was like Grand Theft Auto is responsible for all these murders on, like really?
Well, if you notice, Player Unknown Battlegrounds is not on that list.
Oh yeah, but you know what? They are going to be they're going to be considered, because there was I think it was not last week's but the week before, the esports section by Nacho, he talks about how Player Unknown Battlegrounds is being brought into esports competitions.
I can believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that happening, because I mean, the game lends itself to that very well, right? It's very competitive.
Yeah, it really is, and while I say that, esports is the bane of my existence as a gamer, I don't want to take away from anybody who plays competitive. There's a level of gaming that I will never reach, and that is competitive gaming.
Same here.
I mean, I love Rocket League, but I would never be able to play on a level where, on the level that these people would have to play.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. In fact, a lot of the high end esports athletes, and we can call them athletes, go so far as to train daily in games. Not only that, they go so far as to take care of their bodies, so they work out as well. They eat properly. They exercise. So it's quite an investment now. And I think that actually fits with what we're talking about here very well, because it mirrors what real sports, and I hate to say real sports, but I mean, football players, they work out, they eat, they do everything to have that body, that instrument.
They practice as a team.
Yes.
They scrimmage against themselves, which is exactly what these esports teams, from collegiate level all the way up to pro level do.
Yeah. So there is one last quote that I want to kind of cover in the Georgia State University article. And this one is from Andrew Greenberg. He is president of the Game Developers Association. And he says, so now that they're being accepted into NACE, he says this gives its students a chance to earn both scholarships and internships, as well as compete with varsity college teams around the state. Georgia State clearly recognizes its students' interest in esports. We have no doubt that this means even more smart and talented students applying to the university. So they're looking at it from the other side of the coin too, because now when you have students that are, finishing high school and they're looking at what college do I go to, what university do I go to, they're looking at it as, well, we offer this, right? So our school, it might be more attractive than that other school, right? So it's pretty neat. Never even thought of it that way, how they actually flip it around to their own advantage. So,
can you imagine a nerd party school?
That's good. Actually, it would be a LAN party, wouldn't it? For
Yeah.
some reason, I was picturing dancing, music, booze, and then I went, no, wait a second. They'd all be sitting in front of computers, all connected to the same network, and playing something like Doom.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
they'd be playing something like Doom or Quake.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. Or even
for
StarCraft Remastered.
right?
Yeah, there you go. I remember doing that actually at the university just up the street from my house. I'd go to work. I'd end my shift very late, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. My buddy was a janitor there. He would let me in one of the back doors. We'd go to the computer lab, sit down and play. And it was
Nice.
amazing. Hours and hours of just endless playtime, free, and then I'd have to go to work right like from there. No
Nice.
sleep. But anyways, that's a separate story. I digress. So that pretty much, guys, is what we kind of decided to cover off, go through real quick as a main topic in esports and where esports is headed here in North America in colleges and universities, mainly in the U.S. I don't know if this applies to Canada as well. I don't think it would.
Uh,
It would at this
I
point.
haven't heard anything, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I said, I think this is kind of an America thing, but
I like it.
it could spread.
Oh yeah, you never like it could absolutely. If it does well, there's no reason why some other university up here in Canada can't go, "Hey, wait a second, look at those guys. If they're doing it, why can't we?"
Yeah.
Right? So, but yeah, guys, I mean, it's an interesting subject. It's really weird to kind of see games all of a sudden accepted into schools as almost like sports, like a real sport. So it's esports, right? But I know I hate to say that every time, but let us know, if you're watching the video in the comments, write down what your opinion on this might be. Do you think it's just something that is gonna fizzle out? Do you think it's something that will grow with time? And do you think it actually has a rightful place in schools alongside sports such as football and basketball and baseball, right? So, yeah, let us know, and I look
And
forward to reading them. Yeah.
the other thing, let us know if you think high schools should start getting into
Ooh.
into it. Should you be able to letter in esports?
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. Like, because then that way, right from then, you can tell if it is something you're serious about and you want to continue later on.
Yeah.
It would be like a real like a soccer or baseball type sport where you would have a limited career span in it, though. It would.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
As
I
long
mean,
as, long as you can keep your reaction times
yeah,
up.
reflexes. I don't know, man. My hands don't work like they used to. No, I'm just kidding.
My eyes don't work like they used to. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't
All
have
right.
these a couple years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm
Okay,
staring at
guys.
pictures, man, come on.
Thank you, Z. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Z, for your opinions in this topic, and I really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching this part. We're gonna end the topics, the main topic section at this point.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nachopanda, and tonight we got some awesome stuff going on in the world of League of Legends and esports. So, you guys, we're going to be talking about all of that coming up in just a second, so stay tuned. Alright, you guys, to start off our weekend for Playoff League of Legends, we have the third place matchup between Fnatic and H2K, you guys. And what's crazy about this is we got one of the best League of Legends teams in Europe, Fnatic, facing off an incredible team of H2K. And I honestly was surprised because these two teams are just really, really good. And they're going off for third place. That just shows that the talent pool in Europe is really stepping it up. And they're showing that they can hang with the best. And what's crazy is even earlier before the matchup, Reckless, the AD carry, which means attack damage carry 4, Fnatic won the award for MVP of the summer split in the European LCS. So, to earn that title, you got to be bringing it. You got to be bringing that heat. So, and that is what they did, you guys. It went to game 5, the best of 5. It went all the way to the end, you guys. You couldn't tell who was going to win because it was just so back and forth. It was incredible. You saw H2K took the first match, and then Fnatic came back to games 2 and 3, almost took game 4, you guys. But H2K held them off to force that game 5. But unfortunately for H2K, they were just not able to capitalize on their efforts in game 5, and they fell short to Fnatic. And Fnatic took game 5 and secured the number 3 seed for the summer split, which will give them a great position to play in the Gauntlet, which is another tournament that will be coming up to choose or to find out who will be the number 3 seed going into Worlds later this year. So that will be an exciting matchup to watch because both of those teams will be back in that Gauntlet, but only one will prevail and only one will move on from that tournament. But more importantly, you guys, we have the European LCS finals happening September 3rd, which is Sunday. And this is a crazy matchup because I did not expect this. We had the Misfits versus G2 eSports, you guys. And this is kind of a crazy matchup because you have Misfits on one hand, who are a fairly new team to the league, versus G2, who has proven time and time again that they can hang not only in the European LCS, but on the international stage. And that is what everyone is looking at. So I am very curious to see how they're going to be able to transition from that and beat Misfits. And even Misfits, they are an incredible team because they not only have done well in the playoffs, but they beat Fnatic in the semifinals. And that's the number 1 seed beating a number 3 seed. You don't see that often, that a team kind of unknown beats such a high-end team like Fnatic. So for that to happen, it's kind of crazy, and it's going to be an exciting matchup because there's so much unpredictable possibilities that could happen. So I think this is going to be an incredible matchup between the two teams, and my prediction for the finals, what is going to happen, I'm going to go Misfits in 5, you guys. I think Misfits is going to take the European LCS Summer Finals in 5 games against G2 eSports, you guys, and that will automatically qualify them to Worlds later this year, you guys. So we'll have to wait and see, but I wish both teams the best of luck. All right, you guys, now that we've looked at the European LCS, we're going to take it back to North America, and we're going to check out the North American Summer Playoffs. Today we had the 3rd place matchup between Team Dignitas and Counter Logic Gaming. Very surprising matchup because both teams just they were underwhelming in the semifinals. TSM beat out Team Dignitas 3-1, and Immortals swept Counter Logic Gaming to put both teams here in the 3rd place matchup. So it was kind of like they both seemed very defeated, at least in the sense of they lost very, very poorly. But these are two teams that have everything to prove and nothing to lose. So when you have those parameters, you're gonna have an amazing matchup, you guys. And I think we got that, you guys. So to kind of look a little bit deeper, it really took the leadership role from Aframu, who is the support player on Counter Logic Gaming, to really step up into the shoes of what he knows he can be and lead his team back into the glory days. So he was able to do so, but it wasn't an easy matchup because Team Dignitas has completely made a 180 from what they used to be, and they have built, I would say, quite a scary team to face off against with, countless names of skilled players across the board. I think they really, really had a chance to do this, but unfortunately for Team Dignitas, Counter Logic Gaming swept them 3-0, you guys, to take the number 3 place in the summer split finals, or in the summer split. But that is not over for Team Dignitas, because what they will be doing is they will be going back into another tournament that will be happening later on this year. And that is going to be a regional tournament to pick the number 3 seed for whichever team to go to Worlds. Now, this could be Team Dignitas. Their dream is still alive, but they will have to face off again with Counter Logic Gaming, and if they're going to do it and if they're going to make it to Worlds, they really need to figure out how they can get past Counterlogic Gaming and really secure their confidence in gameplay and their play style. So we will be seeing that later on this year. Unfortunately, they didn't do it this time, but we'll see them. Now to get on to the good stuff, you guys. We have the summer finals matchup for the North American LCS. We have Team Solo Mid, the best team to play North American League, versus Immortals, the team that has always played well against TSM. There's no predicting what's going to happen, you guys. We have a David versus Goliath matchup. TSM has always proven that they can hang with the best when it comes to North American LCS finals, playoffs, all of that stuff. But Immortals has always played their best against TSM. So we really are going to see, I think, some of the best League of Legends you'll see in this year. And, to really kind of break this down, though, the summer split MVP went to Bjergsen, who plays for TSM. He's the mid laner for TSM. He is basically the heart and soul. He's the leader. He is going to, I think, have a very, very critical role in how TSM is going to play in the finals. And I honestly think if he can lead by example and they can follow his leadership, Immortals is going to have a really, really tough matchup. But I don't think I can't safely say that TSM is going to beat Immortals, because this game, these two teams, it's going to come down to one small mistake that's going to tip it over to the other team, and we really won't know until they play to each other, and that will be this Sunday. So you guys, I'm going to give my prediction right now. I am going to call TSM over Immortals in 5 matches, you guys. I think it's going to take all 5, and I think it's going to be insane. I think the 5th match is going to take forever. It's going to be one small mistake that's going to set the other team off, and I give it to TSM. But you never know, you guys. That's happening this Sunday. I am excited to watch it. I hope you guys are too. We'll see that. We'll see what happens, and good luck to both teams, and may the best. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap it up this week for our coverage of esports and everything esports. So you guys, thank you so much for checking it out. Always make sure to like this channel, subscribe. Let us know in the comment section below if you guys see any games that you want to hear about, or if there's anything in the esports world that you guys want me to talk about. Make sure to let us know below. And always, you guys, make sure to check me out on my social media and my Twitch right up here, you guys. You can check me out, ask me anything. Tell me anything you want. I will be streaming Sunday night. You guys make sure to check it out. I will see you guys next time. Have a good week. Peace.
And welcome back, guys. So we come to the end of another podcast. I want to say thank you to Component Z. Component, thank you for filling in the spot when Lynn's needed to do what she needed to do. So I really appreciate that. Had a lot of fun with this particular one. Tell me what's coming up for you. What's the next thing on your radar, my friend?
Just been doing some streaming. I've been getting back into doing Star Wars: The Old Republic streams. Which I have a lot of fun with that.
Wait, sorry, Old Republic? What was it again?
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
So this is the original, right?
No, this is the MMO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were thinking of Knights of the Old Republic.
That's correct. That's the one I was thinking of.
Star Wars: The Old Republic actually takes place like 3,000 years before the events of the Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
It's convoluted and weird, but it's still a fun game.
And you're streaming it now?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna have to come check it out sometime.
I'm currently streaming a bounty hunter. I'm playing the bounty hunter class.
When did that game come out?
A few years ago.
Okay, all right. Just curious. I kind of get an idea of the time frame.
It came out, I think, right after Star Trek Online. I think Star Trek Online came out, and the Old Republic came out like 6-8 months later.
Got it. Okay. That gives me a better idea. Cool. So just the streaming at this point, YouTube
Yeah,
channel
just
or anything? No.
no. Never got
Gotcha.
it. Never. I watch YouTube. Never got into recording whole YouTube videos.
Gotcha.
Too much trouble.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort. I'm kind of crazy. I love the editing. So I love planning ahead, filming things in a certain way, and then going back and using the editing in order to make it tell a story. I just love doing that kind of stuff. In fact, I know you haven't seen it, but by the time our viewers have seen this part or at this part with a wrap up of the show, you've already watched my game releases for this week, and they'll know what I'm talking about. Even though right now, as we're recording, you don't. But go back and watch it, and you'll get what I mean. Okay? Promise
All
me
right.
you'll do that. Trust
I'll
me.
have to go back and check this one out.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. You'll be able to watch it in a couple of days when I have it posted up. As far as people watching this podcast, where can the viewers that are watching us now go to find you?
You can usually find me at twitch.tv /component_Z.
Okay.
I do have a Twitter. I'm really bad about not using it.
Yeah.
I will admit,
don't feel bad. I'm in the same boat. You know how all mine go out? All through the automated on YouTube. So I just click a button and it posts it for me, and I'm like, I don't have to think about it.
But I'm really bad about not posting on my Twitter, and I really should because.
Yeah, same here.
But you can follow me at at component_Z Twitter.
Yeah.
Or yell at me at component_Z.
Yell at me.
That's probably the best way to get my attention.
Cool. Do you have a separate Discord of your own?
I do not. I do
not. Okay, yeah. I think that seems to be the in thing now. A lot of people are doing their own Discords for streaming. I know Nachopanda, who's part of Bottle Rocket Gaming, does that. I don't myself. I do like Discord and the format and the way it is on the desktop app as well as the mobile app. What I don't like is the audio I find it just not reliable sometimes.
See, I haven't had that much problem with Discord.
You showed me actually tonight that they have the video chat built into it, so that's something we.
Yeah, that is actually rolling out. It's still, I think it's still in its beta at this point.
Gotcha.
But they said it is coming out. It is rolling out. They actually rolled theirs out before the Twitch app actually rolled theirs out.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's time that I consider doing it. Maybe even, it might be worth it for yourself, like putting a Discord channel together. In fact, it might help me a lot because I could make like a room where people come in when I'm streaming, and I'm going to get into my stuff in a moment because I can have it through audio on the headsets when I'm doing VR, and I can hear people rather than see the text in the actual virtual world, right?
Ooh, that'd make it a lot easier to heckle you while you're.
It would, yeah. It would be like direct feedback. Make fun of me when I do things like put a hole in my green screen.
Not like you've ever done that.
So no, not at all. I'm gonna go on with what's coming up for me. So one of the things I had written down was I put a hole in my green screen. So last Wednesday I streamed a game called Gorn. It's on HTC Vive. Basically, you're in the setting of Gladiator. So you're in an arena, and then these gladiators come after you, and you have to beat them. And as you kill them and beat them up, you unlock them new weapons, so you can beat them. And they get harder and harder, progressively harder, with better armor and better weapons themselves. And so I'm busily flailing in the real world trying to kill these guys, and then I have a paper green screen up against the wall so people can see me in the bottom corner of the screen as I'm streaming. And I hit the paper green screen, and that thing's been up there for a year. I've been hitting it a few times and it never broke, but this time I heard it. It was like rip, and I was like, oh, that's a hole in the green screen. So yeah, my homework this Labor Day weekend is to patch up that hole, which is
nice.
Simple enough to do. Yeah.
I was gonna say we need to get that patched because I am enjoying watching you play hot dogs, horseshoes,
Oh,
and hand grenades.
yeah. That's actually one of my more popular ones. In that I not only do I stream it, but I record it at the same time, and then I post it up on my YouTube channel, and
Yeah, I've been watching
it
the
gets pretty
YouTube
good.
videos of it.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's a great. It's probably right now my favorite VR of all the games. But Super Hot is another one that comes to a close second, and I'm gonna edit that and post that soon. So other than that, other good news for me is I got my Twitch affiliate program, the
Yay!
email. So I was like, what? Huh? Uh, Super excited. Spent like a day setting everything up. Now my next task is to go into something like Streamlabs or Stream Elements and actually set up events that occur when people do things like follow, subscribe, or donate bits and things like that. So I'm hyped up about that. I'm going to be streaming on Monday. It's going to be Uncharted. I'm going to continue that till I finish it. But Wednesdays are always VR. So yeah, Wednesdays are always VR as long as the green screen is patched. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, you guys can find me in places like for Twitch, for example, it's twitch.tv slash Kirokcraft. There you can see my schedule and you can see the links of the different groups I belong to, which I'm going to mention now. You can even go to my YouTube channel. YouTube is youtube.com slash Kirokcraft. I'm also in a group known as project-singularity.com. We are a gaming community. Basically, what we do is we just like to game different types of games, Minecraft, Creativeverse, things like that. Actually, on our website, the website I just mentioned, you can see a games page where we list all the games that we play together. And it's really about a bunch of guys getting together, guys and girls, and if they can, once a week and play together and have fun. And that's pretty much it. Um, Other than that, I'm in another group or gaming community. This is more of a casual setting. We do a podcast. Our channel is Hop Along Games. So if you go to YouTube and just search for Hop Along Games, you'll find us. We only have about 2 videos at the moment. They've been out on vacation. I was out on vacation. So now we're going to start meshing up our timelines and make up a few more of the episodes. And we just sit on a couch, drink a beer, and talk about different things, different topics about video games, and that's about it. So that's what's going on with me. um, Remember, guys, this podcast is a Bottle Rocket Gaming podcast. We are a collective of other individuals. Component Z is part of Bottle Rocket Gaming. I am as well. There's a few members that I have in Project Singularity that are part of Bottle Rocket Gaming, and we are a collective of people that game. We Bottle Rocket Gaming themselves will hold events. You can actually go to the website to see the different events that are going on specific dates. The website is bottlerocketgaming.com. There you can even register if you like and be a part of the group. And it's cool because we look for help throughout the group for people who can participate and do different things. For instance, today Lynn's was supposed to be on. She couldn't make it for obvious reasons. So Component Z offered to fill in. I, through Project Singularity and through one of the members there, discovered Bottle Rocket Gaming, and then Warped a while back said, hey, I might want to have someone come on board and help. And I was like, hey, dude, if you want help, I'm there. And that's how that all comes about. And that's what it's all about. People can come, they can register on the site, and they can play with us. They can offer to do different things if they have talents, and that would be awesome because it's a collective of people that have different talents and can help each other do different things together. We are also on YouTube, so that's where you are probably right now watching this video. It's youtube.com/BottleRocketGaming. On that website, you'll find this podcast and a whole bunch of other videos that Bottle Rocket Gaming posts. Aside from YouTube, we also have a presence on twitch.tv. So it's twitch.tv/BottleRocketGaming. This channel's actually been hopping lately. It's been super busy with a lot of people in Bottle Rocket Gaming donating part of their time throughout the week to not post videos, sorry, but stream their gaming and their gaming likings and things like that. So, it's awesome that you guys are watching the podcast. You can always like if you hit the like button if you like what you see. Hit subscribe if you like to, and then the little bell guy there if you want to see more. So every time a new podcast goes up, you'll be notified. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't have the time to sit and watch an actual podcast, maybe catches a little bit here, a little bit there, but you want to help us out, you can do that on our Patreon page through patreon.com/BottleRocketGaming. There are different levels or different tiers at which you can donate if you feel that you want to donate. And according to the different tiers, there are different rewards that you can actually get along with it. Every little bit helps. It is what keeps this podcast going. So thank you. And that's pretty much all of it. Another episode done.
Yay!
I know. So once again, thank you, Component Z, for hopping along for joining in and help me out this week with the podcast and with all the different things we talked about. Thank you again.
Well, I'm glad I could be here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know we knew Liz was supposed to be here, and with everything going on, I'm glad I had a clear schedule and I could jump in.
I really, really appreciate it. And as far as Linz goes, I'm glad to know that she's safe and that things are getting better. So that's most important right now. So.
And don't worry, I'll hold it over Lynch's head that she couldn't be here and then I had to get ready for her. And yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.